And we are live.
Well, I want to welcome everyone back to our monthly Man Show Zoom. You could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with us, so we value your time greatly. So we'll get right into it. If you're a Airworks distributor or your significant other's Airworks distributor and you're not a part of Man Cave and you want to be connected to a group of positive guys where you can bounce things off each other, feed off each other's positive energy, reach out to one of us. We'd love to get you connected. Um, Corey, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing fantastic job. I can't complain, man. It is what are we like a week about a week away from Thanksgiving, right? Like a week in a day or something like that. Like it kind of sneaks up on you when you're a kid. Like you see it coming, like you're waiting for, like can't wait for that break to come up from school. But you get to be an adult, man. It's like, oh, wait a minute, it's what time? So excited about that. Excited to see the getting the family together. Just excited about the Christmas cash. I'm always down for a good change of season. So I'm just excited, dude. I mean, I don't know what other word adjective just to use besides excited, but things are going great. Things are I'm just excited. I don't know.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. And tonight we have a guest on, one of my great friends. When I was skeptical about their worst business and didn't see enough manpower going on in the business, I didn't see his face. I heard his voice on the call, and he said, it works has provided an unparalleled lifestyle for me, and I have enough money for me and my family to walk away, ride off into the sunset, and never look back. And that's just not anything I've ever heard before at that time. That's not how we were raised. So I said I had no interest in calls before that, but I turned around and said, "Man, turn that up. What did he just say? That's unimaginable. That can't be real, And seeing him continue to live the lifestyle to this day has been greatly inspiring, for all of us as we push forward to help others get free as well. Rusty, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I hope you guys are. It's a pleasure being with you tonight.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Lay to the people what's on your heart, man. What you been up to, Rusty?
We've just been doing the same thing we've been doing for 16 years, sharing the vision and, helping people achieve their dreams and their goals. And we start out where they want to start because, see, we never make it about us. It's never been about me. It's always been about the other person. And I do want to tell you guys a story. And actually, I discussed this with Mr. Pentecost today through Messenger. And they want to know how I've been here longer than everybody for going on 16 consecutive years, all I do for a living. And everybody knows what we do. They know how we do it. And that's okay. But none of that matters until you find out why you do it. And I'm going to tell you why I do it, or why I've done it, why I made the plunge all those years ago to walk away from a big corporate job. And I just got tired of being gone. I got tired of, I call it modern day slavery. They sell you on the goods of so many hours a week, so much of a salary, so many sick days, so many vacation days, a little bit of 401. And you really don't find anybody at retirement age that ever makes it to that. So I call it the yellow brick road. And what I mean by yellow brick road is like the Wizard of Oz. And at that point, I just saw inflation coming in the banking industry. And I knew I didn't want to be a part of it because people were going to get hurt. Inflation always has to be paid for. And I want to make something clear. Just because you have a particular title does not mean that you're a leader. That's hard for some people to swallow because if you're dependent on what you did yesterday to get you where you're going tomorrow, I'm sorry, that don't work. It will not. You've got to be in a constant state of growth in order to change with the times and change with the leadership. But here's what I've done. Here's why I'm still here after all those years. I read about Mark Pentecost, and I got on the phone. I met him. We started talking almost every day. And his why lined up with my why. He's with his high school sweetheart. He had Cammie, Kinsey, Kyler. He wanted to spend more time. He wanted to provide better for them. He wanted to create a way of life where they could enjoy it and he wouldn't miss much of their life. He started off with the $500 just to pay some credit card bills down so they could have just a little in addition to. And, of course, when you really define that why, And I'm a proponent and component of following successful people. And I'll tell you a couple small stories at the end of this. And, my why lined up with Mark's. And so people don't buy what you do or how you do it until they buy why you do it. And if you have an organization that's leaving you and you can't get it together, you focus too much on yourself. You focus too much on what you do and how you do it, not why you do it. And if you don't, if they're not buying your why, guess what? You're building sandcastles. And so everybody wants to jump in the elevator and hit penthouse, go from the first floor to the penthouse. They walk off in it, and a couple things happen there. You don't grow in integrity when that happens, because once your business gets up there, it's temporary. And why is that? Well, one, you don't respect it because you didn't earn it, you didn't build it, you didn't put the time in to get it there. You don't understand people's problems, that you have to be that strong leader all those years to take care of those problems, and you don't have enough maturity to handle. And so the reason I love Mr. Pentecost and why I've been in business with him and stake the future of my family on it, because he climbs the ladder to success. And I started coming at the ladder right behind him, climbing to success, because every time you take another step on the ladder to climb to success, you build integrity. And so if you don't have integrity, that's what the sandcastles are all about. You're out there, you got a beautiful sandcastle, all of a sudden the waves come in, they wash you down because it has no stability. And so what happens when you climb the ladder of integrity, you're building on solid rock. So his why, everything he had and the reasons he done it was the reasons I wanted to do it. So I found out he was highly successful. He was where I wanted to go. And so I just started posturing myself and following everything he did. I trusted in him and I believed in him. It's his leadership would take me to the next level. All I had to do is do what he did, but it's why we done it. Now, has it been easy? Yeah, the money's kind of crazy. My lifestyle's real crazy. I don't wake my alarm clocks. I work very hard. I'm very punctual. I'm very systematic in what I do. And my whole deal is I make it about other people. I try to find out what's most important to you and help create a solution as to why we can do it. And then I show you what I do and how I do it in order to help create the solution. But see, when your ideals line up with other people's ideals and their belief systems, they will follow you. And every time you hit an obstacle, I never saw if you're at a place and everybody started going crazy, like, oh my God, this is happening. Who do you look for in the crowd? You look for the guy that's not losing his cool. Here's an adversity, and he's just really calm, cool, and collective. He might be tore up on the inside, but as a leader, you don't allow that to happen. We've been through the rap shortages. We've been through the software problems. We've been through growing pains. I got sick. I went to 750 pounds. I would have never made it back losing 490 pounds without having a strong constitution as to why I done it. That's what got me through, is focusing the why. See, what happens when you get that why going on, you become purpose-driven because you dig down to the internal awareness. Now you have a purpose and you have a clear vision. So if I ask everybody right now, what color do you see? You might say green or blue or purple. But if you don't see clear, you'll never see those colors. It will never be clear because in the mind's eye, it's clouded. So here's what I started thinking a few weeks ago. My father was a Baptist minister for 55 years. And so we're up on the holiday season to Thanksgiving. We got Christmas. I'm excited about it. It's how you come together as a family. You're very thankful for where we are, but we're still going to finish this year very strong. There's no time to give up now because I was promised today that 2018 would blow my mind. The boys, y'all both know me. It's really hard to blow my mind. I'm very realistic. I have a strong banker's background, but I sit in a man's office when I got this particular communication from this guy that just tore my wire, and I come into tears. And this multi-millionaire real estate developer and owner, he said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Not a thing, bro." I said, "I got it." I said, "But I just got a vision casted into me like I've never had in my entire life. Can't talk about it with you right now, but I'll be back in about a week to talk to you about that." And so that's the vision that's casted, a man that don't give up through the adversities. We use those little adversities and it come into our life as stepping stones. Now, some people hit a block. Of course, you hadn't constituted the why. It's all about what you do and how you do it. And that's what you're focused on. You think you're focused on you. You're focused on your check. You're focused on nothing. You're stingy. And you might have a title, but that's all you've got. Your leadership does not portray that title. And you're still working off of yesterday. What you did yesterday, that don't constitute and carry you into now, today. And it's kind of like being hungry today and you're still working on last week's breakfast to carry you through this hunger today. No, that don't work, boys. We got to feed ourselves every single day. And so here we are. And I was thinking, I was born in 1962. I didn't want to get at 120 years old because I really believe I'm going to live that long. As good as I feel at 55, they say I'm 18 on the inside. And that's taking some serious work. I get up, I hit it hard every morning. 4 a.m., I'm running my 20 miles. I'm working out with these pro bodybuilders. And the reason I'm working out with them because they push me to the next level. I'm trying to get to where they are. That's why I do it. And so I started thinking about it. So I didn't want to die like new. Does that make sense? Oh, he was 120, but he died like he was brand new. And you start looking. See, I believe that when you was a fertilized egg flowing down your mother's fallopian tube, God was talking in all kinds of gifts. I'm going to give Corey this gift. I'm giving Rob this gift. I'm giving the children this gift, and they're going to carry this forward. I just don't believe he tossed in. I think I'll just do average for him and mediocre for that one. And no, I'll cloud his mind up, and I'll take his vision and I'll cloud it up. Absolutely not. You were put here for a purpose. And so if you get to that age and you die, most people don't even take the bows off the box. And then they don't open the lid and pull those gifts out. We're always looking all over the place, way over yonder to find out what we need, what's next, what he's doing. You're comparing your weaknesses to somebody else's lying strengths, especially social media. Social media, they should call it lying media. And you're comparing your weaknesses to somebody who's trying to be all strong, but yet their talk is big, but their actions are they don't show it. It does not, the math just don't add up to me. But I didn't want to get there and say everything I needed was right here in my lap. Everything, all the greatness is right here. All I got to take is what I've got already. He put you here for greatness. But I didn't want to get to the end of my road and still have all these gifts that he gave me, that I had everything I needed to be happy and wealthy in every area of my life. And I just overlooked it because I was distracted by somebody else that just don't even know how to use their gifts. And so you don't go to a guy that's he's been bankrupt 3 times and get financial advice from him. I don't discriminate no human being. We're all of a superior race. We're humans. And that's how I see it. So I'm not going to go to the guy that's bankrupted. He don't know how to manage his money and don't know how to prioritize his time. It's no such thing as time management. It's priorities in the day that you manage. We all got the same 24 hours, but I'm not going to take the financial advice. I'll be respectful and listen. I'll turn you off real quick, and I want to apply the advice for people that's made it. That's why I was attracted to the why of Mark Pentecost. It's the integrity and the why. He'd already done it. And so you don't go to a guy that's been divorced 4 or 5 times and had 14 girlfriends to find out how am I going to have a happy marriage? Well, he doesn't know. And I'll tell you this. My father had a guy that come in to build a radio station for our church. And his name was Mr. Hartman, a little short Jewish guy. They were best friends, and our families are still friends because I come from the same area. And he was a billionaire guy. And I said, Mr. Hartman, you said you was married 60 years to your wife, and she's always with you when you come to location here, and she looks at you like she adores you. I said, what is your secret? Married 60 years, guys. He said, the first week I started to woo my wife's love. I wanted to win her love over. He said, I sent her flowers. I hand wrote love notes and I mailed them to her. I got nice cards of all the appreciations. I mailed them to her. Said I created life as this big experience. And she started to like me and to fall in love with me. And I said, well, that's cool. What's the secret? 60 years. He said, I've done that every week for 60 years. Created an experience every week for 60 years. And but guys, my wife, ain't nobody here except me tonight. They'll be here in a few minutes. I need to go ahead and tell you. My wife was at the hairdresser the other day. I called the hairdresser. I took care of everything on the phone. She didn't have to worry about it. And then I called the florist. I said, where's the closest florist to where you are in your city? I said, I want the nicest one you got. So I have flowers delivered, not just little old vase, that crap you buy at the grocery store. No, I want a bouquet of flowers. I want it to make an impact. And I want her to feel special in front of everybody else. I ain't doing it for show. I'm doing it because I love her. And I started writing those handwritten love notes like you did when you leave a little sticker on the window in high school, Mm-hmm. I mail them boogers off. I even bought a roll of stamps. I keep it in my truck out there so I don't have to, nobody knows what's happening. And I go find these nice cards. It's got the sayings. And I write some more stuff and I mail that to her. And she don't know what day it's coming. Sometimes she gets 3 or 4 or 5 a week. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 a week. I want to make life this experience because I want to follow the guy that's been married for 60 years. And he's the guy I'm going to posture after because I've been with her, guys, 39 years. I'm more excited about the next 39 years because that's the woman I love most. She was 14. I was 16. And I often tell this story. It's about making a commitment to where you're going. And when you really define the why, what you do and how you do it, that's when that comes into play. People buy your why. They buy your cause, not making a lot of money. And I got an applicator that works. It does. It's amazing. I've got keto coffee in between the 3 girls that live in my house in 3 weeks, guys. And y'all the first to know this, except for last night's call, they've lost a combined weight of 42 pounds. And the only thing they've done is keto coffee. And that's all they've done differently. Now we're a very active family. We ride horses and we work out, we run. They do a little different than I do. I get up early and run hard because I'm running from something. I figure if I run hard to where I'm going, where I've been, ain't got a chance of going back there. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm a bit, Rob, you've hung out with me in the islands and we played and we've had a lot of fun. I'm a little bit compulsive when it comes to making things happen or going after it. And it's for nobody. It's not for show. It's just for me. It's because the harder I work out, the more I develop my mind. And, I'm all in the self-development. If you're not developing your mind and your leadership abilities, well, you'll just have a title and nobody wants to follow you and they'll all continue to quit and that type of thing. See, because your actions doesn't constitute what your words are saying. And so for 16 years, I've been with Mark Pentecost, and the man has never lied to me, not once. He let me know when it was rough, but he always had a solution to a problem when he called me. And that's key, guys. You need to listen. When you got a guy that's been through what he's been through, even in his sickness, he always gave me solutions to problems. He would tell me about the solution before he even mentioned the problem. And, that's the kind of people you want to hang out with. If you got people it's wasted, 80% of the people, they are 20% of those people is what makes 80% of your deal work. So don't you think it's pretty smart if you spend 80% of your time with the 20% of the people that make it happen? Instead of spend the 80% of the people that just barely get things in. They got all the problems. They never come to you with solutions, just problems. That's when you spend the 20% of the time on. This is effective time management. And any corporation that gets very big, that's just how it has to happen. And, the people and leaders in your organization, they might get you on the phone for a couple minutes, but they're telling you what's going to happen. Just find out a few things you can help them with, and they're right back off. You don't have to hold their hand or drag them along. Those are the guys that have really embraced the why. And when that little hardship comes, they don't run into it. They just step on it as a stepping stone to get to the next level. And look, if you're not going through any adversities, you're not applying yourself. Adversities is nothing more than going to school so you'll learn a lesson from it so you can help somebody else get to the next level. That's just life. And people that run from adversities, guess what? They'll always be running. They've never defined the why. It's always about them or their check or where they're going. And every time I listen to somebody speak, I normally, if you'll see me, Rob, you've seen me pull that little pad out and I just start marking like I'm writing. Every time they say me and I make a mark. And then I read a line through. That's 5 times. I listened to a girl the other evening. And in 30 minutes, she said I and me 36 times. I pretty much know I don't really want to be in business with her, and we're not a lot to do with her. And I respect her as a lady. But it was all about her. It wasn't about we and us as a team. See, none of us are on the same team, but we're in the same family. You're like my cousins, and that means something. So if they mess with y'all, they've messed with us, and here we come. That's just the way it is. That's how you sustain success long term. And so back to the story is how do you become committed to where you're going? I was 16. I met this other little girl, and my father always said, son, you're going to be a man of your word if it costs you. And back in North Carolina, it really snowed big in those days, and like knee deep. And I was a ball player, but it got time to go see the girl. I told her I was coming to her home and to see her that night. And I asked my father for the keys to his truck, and he said, you seen the weather? I said, yes, sir. I said, but I actually told them I was coming. They're going to cook supper. And you said, be a man of your word, so I have to go. He said, I said, you didn't say anything about circumstances. I said, I know the weather's bad, but we have a 4-wheel drive truck, and I just need the keys to it. I'll go over there, honor my word, I'll be back. And he said, I'm not giving you the keys to my truck. And I said, Daddy, you said to be a man of my word. I kind of liked this little girl at the time. And he said, walking ain't crowded. And I looked at it and kind of laughed. I said, no, and mind you, Rob, Corey, she lives 9 miles from my home. And I said, well, it's not crowded. I thought he's messing with me. So I got my snow boots on, my Carhartts, my hunting jacket, this little ski mask I wore hunting. And I get to the end of his driveway, and he'd opened up his big bay window, and he was gesticulating wildly like, yeah, you're not going to do it. And I thought, Corey, Dad, he's messing with me. He's going to come out and give me those keys, and I'll get in that warm truck, and I'll go. And I said, I go up the road a little further, and I look back, and he's still waving wildly like, yeah, sure you are. At that time, I got so angry on the inside. I said, he don't think I'll do it. So I started off in a slow trot. By the time I got to downtown Lexington, North Carolina, that's when they used to have the old wooden phone poles. I got to the old courthouse, and I'm so cold, guys. I leaned up against it, and I started thinking, I must be the dumbest male version in America. I'm up here. There ain't no pay phones, and we didn't even know what a cell phone was back then. And I said, I'm freezing to death. Ain't no traffic out here. Ain't no way I can call him to come get me. And I said, I just must be dumb. And I was thinking, I'm going to have to walk back, and I don't know if I'll make it. But then something switched in my head. I started thinking about why I was going. Back to that why. Well, her grandmother had these pork chops. They was that big around, big, thick pork chops. She went to what we call Smith Brothers, where they cut your meat just like you wanted it. It's an old country store. And she made cat head biscuits that big around, I promise you, that thick. And she would take her fingers and stick in it, and she'd pull out the center of the hot biscuit, and she'd pour homemade pear preserves. It's better than any Krispy Kreme donut you ever ate. I would give $1,000 for 3 of them right now if I could just share that experience with you guys. And so I started focusing about the warm fire, and I really liked this particular little girl. And grandmother was cool. She cooked really good. So I started focusing on where I was going and why I was going. So I stuck off into this why. I didn't even feel the last 4.5 miles. And when I got there, they was helping me out of my jackets. I was near about froze to death. I got my Carhartts off, my boots off from the fire. Her grandmother brings, that's when coffee mugs were real big and deep. She brought me a hot cup of cocoa, and she had like this marshmallow stuff in it. I hadn't had any since then. And so I'm sipping on it. I feel like I'm the king, man, of town. I ate 2 big pork chops, a couple of them big biscuits, and all the stuff she had with it. I'm feeling good about me, but it gets about 10 o'clock. You didn't stay at no girl's house. No, he would have showed up, I promise. Mr. Lackey would have showed up. And so there's a knock on the door, and it was her uncle. And he just bought a new CJ5 Jeep, to tell you how long ago that was. He said, man, I'll take you home. You ain't got to walk. You live a long ways. I said, you'll actually take me home? He said, yes. I was really proud, man. I said, God, you've answered a prayer. It's a blessing coming. I jumped up in the Jeep. He takes me all the way home just to get up to where the bridge is. I said, stop. Yeah. He said, no, I'll take you to the front door. I said, no, I'm not going to let my father know I caught a ride home. And so, guys, I jogged at about 500 yards. And right before I got in this drive, I kind of got down in the snow. I put it all over my head and in my ear. And I walked in like I just froze to death. And I looked at him and said, did you think I'd do it, did you? And it has a newfound respect for honoring our word. Well, let me tell you. Now, what did that why and what did that commitment against all the elements that come my way? I could have just easily quit. I could have turned back. I guess it's just too cold. So what did that get me, guys? By really defining the why and aligning myself with those kind of people like you guys. Is, well, I've been with that same girl for 39 years. She gave me 2 beautiful, independent daughters. I have an unparalleled lifestyle. I wake up beside the woman I love most every single day. I don't wake up by alarm clocks. We wake up happy every day. And we're together. When I got sick, this is a woman that fed me. She bathed me. She did another thing you don't want your sweetheart to do. So y'all tell me, was the why? Was it worth it going through all the elements of the weather? They could have quit at any time. You could have just got really weak. I could have focused on what I was doing and how I was doing it. I focused on why I was doing it. You know, when I focused on why, that gave me a purpose-driven. And I've been able to cast a vision for where we want to go, just like Mark Pentecost. Why am I in business with him all these years later? Longer than everybody. It's because of his why. Our whys lined up. And together, he knows he can count on me, and I know I can count on him. He's going to provide the leadership we need to the next level. It don't matter what comes our way. We're going to stand up and fight. We're going to fight not only for us, for y'all. Those whys are so strong, we could all quit back in the days when 90 days later we were broke and he had to start selling some property just to pay me. You think I'm going to leave him? No, he put his family's way of life on the line for me. You know why? That's why, because our whys are lined up. We said we got each other's back all these years. Oh, you know, Pam Souter, Luis Mahart, Steve Radius, all those guys, that's the original people that started fighting for this dream. And, you know, when things would get rough, we would start to dream again. We're going to fill up arenas, and we're going to have helicopters and jets, and we're going to impact people around the world. They're holding true to those whys. Have we not done it yet? But I'll tell y'all something. Be sure he don't hear this. Make sure you block him out of everything. But for what he told me today, we ain't even got started with It Works Global. We got the next $1 billion product, and it's going to happen in about 24 months. Mark my word. I'll sign a contract with you for the reception we're getting of a product, for the impact it's having on the world. That keto coffee, that's the largest traded commodity in the world. There's 500 billion cups of coffee sold every day. 87% of those are drank in the home. We have a niche in the market. A product is fit, fuel, and focus. Man, I'm getting all kinds of results. And here's what I want to tell y'all. Guess what? When is the last time you had to remind somebody to drink their coffee? You ain't. This is what I want to ask you. Do you drink coffee? How do you like your coffee? Who do you buy your coffee from? And, oh, really? Do they pay you a commission to drink your coffee? And is your coffee a tax write-off? No, we got the best of every world. And the coffee industry, that traded commodity, is the driving force. And we have a niche. And we ain't got no competition because it's convenient. I don't care if I crawl in the jet in the morning, I leave out of here. I'm going to have a bag of coffee with me. It's going to sustain me till I get to where I'm going, till I get back late tomorrow afternoon. I got coffee in my truck. I can go right before I work out. That's what I have. That is my energy drink for the day, is a keto coffee. And guess what? We're recovering about 45 minutes quicker on our workouts now. And Rob, if y'all come work out with me, it's some heavy stuff. It ain't for no weak boys. It's definitely for the guys that have a why that's been really defined. Because these guys, we talk smack to each other, but then we go perform it. And I ain't about at my age to let these guys push me till I can't go. I push hard right back. But you know what? Look what all that's done for us. We could have quit when I got big and I said, you're going to die. I could have believed that. And it all got back to my why, my purpose. And I wasn't about to welch on my why. It don't matter what we do and how we do it until you know why you do it. Guys, when you know why, you know that you're the two guys they're going to start to name buildings after. They're going to name streets after you. And if I didn't believe that with every fiber in my being, I wouldn't say it. And you know why? Because I know another guy's got the same kind of why that all us got. All our whys match up. And you know what? We ain't about to lose. We're just now getting started. And with this new line of product, not only with a billion-dollar company to back it up, and not only that, you got a product, everything is tried and proven here. The compensation plan, it's not on trial. There's not one product in our mix that's on trial. And because what we're doing in 5 weeks of keto coffee, that's not on trial. Because, you know, everybody got to become our customers and our reps on it. You know, the results that we're getting, you don't have to ask nobody, oh, did you remember to drink the keto today? Absolutely not. As soon as they get up, they can't wait to rip that thing open and pour it in whatever, how they want it. And, man, we've created adventure. So here's what I call it. Rip, sip, and explore the benefits of your health, things this will do to your body. For the things it's doing to me, I cannot miss not drinking my keto coffee. And with everything else I utilize in the It Works line, well, you know, I've been here for 16 years. I lost 490 pounds. This is what I want to ask. You know, and I'm being very humble when I ask this. Show me any other product line or anybody else can make me the money I've made and give me the results consistently. I want to see your guy that's done what I've done consistently for the last 10, just give me 10 years. I want to see that story. Please appear in front of me. If you show me something better than I got, I'll come with you. But guess what? It ain't out there. I can't get nobody to take it. Can't get nobody to come up and show me. And their doctor says he's 55. He's been through a lot. And this is what the doctor told my wife. And she just came in. I get her here to tell you. I have no problems. My blood work is perfect. My hormone levels are perfect. And if, hey, Corey, the 3 components I'm supposed to have at 55 years old for heart disease, there's 0. There's none. The doctor said, what do you do? I said, it ain't what I do. It's why I do it. I said, I put the right stuff in me every day. I exercise. I take care of me. But when I show up and I play to win. I have the right tools in my tool bag. Not only do I develop the mind, I develop the body. And every time you start working hard on developing your body, your mind will start to develop with it. And you'll be surprised how far you can stretch yourself. And when you start putting the right things in your body, you can stretch that mind to limits. It just takes you to a whole nother level, a whole nother planet of where we're going with this. And you know what? This ain't about me. It's about y'all. It's about what we can do to change the lives of the people on this live here tonight, or this Zoom. It's about where we're going to go in the world and help change people that need us. They need people like us to show up and share that vision with people that won't back down, that won't quit, that won't falter, that have that resolve to go to that next level. And you know what? I can't wait for the next 16 years, guys. I'm just being truthful with you. And if I didn't think this is where I needed to be, I wouldn't be here. But you know what? My whys line up with Mr. Pentecost, and he's a man of integrity. And you know what? I want to line up with people of integrity, the people who have done it long term. I'm not going to follow Peter Pan around because that's only a figment of the imagination. That was only a cartoon. And I'm not in it cartoons. I'm 55, guys. At best, if you live 100 years, at best, guys, it'll be gone that quick. So we have 24 hours in a day. It's how you posture the people that you posture yourself after is how you spend that time. And all you got is that time. And you know what? You're on the clock now. You ain't got none to waste. So go out with a sense of urgency. You've got everything you need. You have every gift you need. You was given that before you were born. And with those particular gifts, take the bow off the lid. Take the lid off. Take your gifts out and start sharing those gifts with other people. And I can tell you, if you do that, you'll create what we call a legendary legacy. Guys?
Great stuff, and I've seen a lot come through the chat. Rusty, you just inspired the room. A lot of guys are putting their goals and things out there and their whys. But I'm gonna pass the baton to Corey. But I want everybody in this room to know that the real test is going to come is when that's put to the test. When your why and the stuff you said, when you don't feel like it, when you're not feeling it, when you wake up and you're having a bad day, are you still going to pursue those dreams? Are you still going to fight for your family? See, it's going to come down to the point where you can't use your family and your kids and your loved ones as an excuse not to. You have to still go and do it. So, that's called dedication, being dedicated to it when you're not feeling the same way that you do now. Corey?
Man, what do I say? The thing that I love the most about this is, going through hearing, Rusty's a story is awesome because, hey, we know how the story unfolds, right? Like he's telling a story in his present day. We know what present day is, and then he's giving us the background of it, right? So we have the benefit of knowing, hey, he's been married for 39 years. So you can kind of connect those clues together. But I think the thing that's most important that I hear is, when this was all happening, Rusty didn't know how this is going to pan out. You had no idea, but it's the decisions that you make in the right now. Those are the ones that pay off down the road. So for an example, like this month makes 5 years for us that we've been in business, right? And I should probably Google the statistic and take advantage of this time, but something like, 90-something odd % of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So like, I am really excited to have made it, 5 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 5 years. When this business came into our lives, we weren't, we had no idea it would be what it was, right? We didn't know that we would make $100, but we had a why we started, and we stuck with that every single month. 60 months later, 60 paychecks later, hundreds and thousands of great friends. And man, I can't even put a value on the amount that we've learned and grown as people. Are you kidding me? Like, this has been amazing. So, the one thing I want everyone to get from that story what I got, and that's that your why is the thing that, when you start that, your why is that thing will push you and take you through that journey. And the success will come with it as long as you're willing to put that work into it, And whether that's from a relationship standpoint, whether it's from, fatherhood, raising a family standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a friendship, from anything. These are lessons that, yes, we can apply that to business, right? And that's one of the things that we all have in common. But you can take these things and apply them to every facet of your life. And that's going to make you a better person. And that's the amazing part. So when Rusty says, hey, show me someone that's done what I've done for even, almost half the time that I've done it, got the results I've gotten, got the income I've gotten from it, and that'll be something that I want to do. You're seeing that play out right now in front of us. So whether you've only been in for 1 year, 1 week, or 1 day, just know that why, apply that across all facets of your life. Live your life in that vein, and you'll be able to reap those benefits. You may not know when they're going to come or how they're going to come or what it's going to look like, but trust and believe. We're not put here just because. Like Rusty said, and I firmly believe this. Me and Teresa were just talking about this earlier. No one's put here just to be mediocre. Everyone has genius level talent in them. Everyone is here for a reason. Okay? You're not guaranteed to live up to that, right? Because that's that work that comes into it. But you have the ability to. You have the ability to. And if you listen, rewind this back. This will be on YouTube, Facebook Live, rewind this back. If you listen to that, you will unlock that ability, that key, that legend to become legendary.
Absolutely. And just in closing, I'll say two things. One, you never heard a person go to a restaurant and say, give me the most average meal you have. I want the most mediocre thing on the menu, and I want to hear right now. Everybody would stop at the door and look at that person like they were crazy. So why do you live your life that way? The other thing is, everyone knows who Gandhi is, and I heard a great story about Gandhi. A guy came to Gandhi and he said, Gandhi, you got to help me. I have a sugar addiction. Can you help me kick this sugar addiction? Gandhi immediately looked at the man and said, leave right now. Leave and come back. And it was a short period of time. I think it was about a month or so. Leave and come back and see me in a month. But the guy was like, but I'm not finished. He said, just leave, please. And the reason he told the guy that is later he disclosed, he said, I had to kick my sugar addiction because I had one too. How could I give this man advice? How could I lead this man when I had the sugar addiction as well? I had to send him away and kick the addiction myself before I could tell him how to kick his addiction. And I connect the dots there just because I love what Rusty was saying about who you're listening to, who have you given the keys to your brain to? Be careful of that. Like-minded people. I felt that little short story was very powerful when I heard it, and I loved it. So,
can I add something, guys?
Yeah.
So, I talked to a lady yesterday, and she kept saying, oh, but my kids, and I could come and I could do that, but I have my children. I said, lady, can I be honest with you? I said, I'd hate to be one of your children. She said, well, why is that? I said, because if I was one of your kids, you'd make me feel like I held you back from living up to your greatest potential. And then you're going to cause me to not want, it's always going to be somebody else's fault. And it was my fault because you couldn't go be the very best and utilize the gifts God gave you. I said, for whatever you're using to hold you back, you need to quit all that mess. That is nothing more than in your head. I said, Satan, that's what he wants to do, is distract you. Because, oh my goodness, I said, use that as your fuel instead of your hindrance. The reason I done it, guys, was my two little girls. When the guy told me I couldn't fly out 3 hours late to go see my little girls get their awards, and when I walked into their bank on Monday morning and fired him, I can tell you one thing. I told him, looked him dead in his eyes. I said, I'll tell you something. I appreciate what you did last Thursday. When you showed me that my children weren't as important as your children, you made me see what was most important to me, and it sure wasn't you. And my kids, if I have to go to reduce my lifestyle to a mobile home on a spring branch, I was born on a farm, and I know how to survive. I didn't want to do it, but I had a skill set that left with me. All I had to do is go apply it. So whatever's holding you back, or whatever you use it as an excuse to hold you back, let that be your fuel. If it's your wife, if it's your children, if it's whatever, if you don't believe your kids deserve a full-time daddy, well, then you ain't a man. I'm just going to be honest with you, boys. I don't like to run with guys that ain't got no backbone, no spine, because they don't know why. They've been used to being told what to do all their lives. So let your kids know, like I said to my two little girls, I said, because of y'all, I ain't going to miss another time in y'all's life. Because of y'all, Daddy will go out and fight. He'll do what he's got to do. He's going to make this thing happen, but we're going to be together every single day. I never had to call. My little girls got sick, and when they're little. I never had to say, oh, my daughter, I need to take her to the doctor. Can I get a half a day? No, we just done it. And I take them to school, pick them up from school. We go eat lunch with them almost every day, and we buy all kinds of stuff for the whole little class. They love to see me and Miss Lackey show up. And they say, how do y'all do it? I said, we just made a choice. We got our priorities in line. They say, that's what's wrong with most people, guys. Your priorities are all messed up. You got them out of line. So you readjust your priorities to what's most important in your life. See, one day you're going to wake up and it ain't going to be here. And I'm going to tell you another quick story, and I'll be done. Well, I fell in love with this business, and then think about what I'm fixing to tell you. What if you guys bought your wife a really nice present last Christmas, and she just getting around to open it right now? How would that make y'all feel? Being unappreciated? She don't love you no more? How do you think God feels when you don't utilize the gifts he gave you? You think he's going to give you any more blessings because you ain't used what he's already given you? It's not going to happen. You stay on your knees till they look like a bunch of camels over in the sand land. It ain't going to happen. He ain't giving you nothing else because you ain't used what you got. And see, I experienced that. Before my father got sick, went in the hospital, I had something very special for him, handcrafted, made. And he went in the hospital on December 2nd. And it was going to be the best Christmas we ever had. And had it all wrapped up way before Christmas, man. I had to get on this one early. And I was there 37 straight days holding my father's hand. I really never let go unless I went to the little ICCU restroom and back out. I want him to know that I was there because Mark Pentecost's Y and our Y's are lined up for 37 days. I didn't have to do nothing but stay there and take care of what's most important to me. See, it's not a matter if it's going to happen. It's just when it's going to happen. We're all going to experience it because there ain't but one way out of life, and that's death. And so I sat there and I held him. He come off his hand, and he come off the ventilator. It was a Sunday after Christmas. And for 3 days, and he got pneumonia back on the vent. I had to have him unplugged. 2013, January the 9th. And on the 17th, or the 15th, I was in Tampa, Florida, introducing Mark on the stage at our conference that year when we had him in January. Now that gift sat in my living room floor, and everybody was forbid to touch it. I said, if you're going to get me riled up, you move that gift. Finally, last Christmas, I got my mother over here and told everybody to leave. We opened it. If I know what I knew today, I would have gave it to him early. I'd have gave him that gift because he would have loved it. And so what I want to tell you, don't waste your gifts, guys. Life is virtually important. Ain't nothing more important than your family. Ain't nothing more important than your kids. Don't let those gifts go unused. Use everything you've got. Be a used up model. And this model was wore out when you die. Don't go to your grave like brand new. Don't let this opportunity pass you. Because one day, too, when it comes, and because of It Works Global and Mark Pentecost and all of our Y's lining up together, and when it's time for your call of duty that you have to step up and you have to sit somewhere for 30, 40, 60, 90 days because that loved one needs you, it don't matter. The checks keep coming. Your way of life is taking it to a new level. And when you're most needed, or whatever you're using as your excuse, you use that as your fuel to go get this and make this happen. Because if you do, the day that comes, everybody else in your family is going to live in regret. Now, I promise you, if I get my father back for 24 hours, I have an 8-figure business. It happens where I show up or not. I'd give this to y'all. I'd divvy it up between both of you. If I can get him on the phone, do it right now, I can build this business back in 12 months. If I could have 24 hours more with my father, just tell him how much I loved him, how much I appreciated to be able to hand him that particular gift. So I'll tell you what, figure out what's most important to you. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to all pull out a sheet of paper right now, and I want you to write your name down. And I want you to write down the definition that you think you are. And say that definition, write it again tomorrow. Redefine who you are tomorrow. Write it down. So when you write it down, you start to internalize it. And so most people, when they write that definition, you're writing a definition somebody's put on you, and you had to believe it. So they constituted who you are. They're the one that defines. Don't you ever let anybody define who you are. So you write your name down today, and then you write the definition of where you're going to be tomorrow. And let today would be the worst day you've ever had in your life because tomorrow will be better. And the next day it's going to be better because we are in this together. We're in harness together. We are a team. We are a unified organization. And can't nobody beat nobody that's unified. I don't care who you are. But don't wake up one morning and regret. You know, all your gifts are still there and you should have been using them. Don't disappoint your maker. And don't disappoint your family. Your guys. We're the guys that's supposed to make it happen. I know society's trying to feminize all of us. I just don't buy into that crap. No, I got 3 women at my house. Ain't nothing but me and my German Shepherd, my 2 little girls. And if he don't get you first, he's the last one you have to worry about. Then you have to see me. And I ain't backing down from nothing. You know why? Because of my why. That's why I live the life I get to live today. Guys, I appreciate you having me on today.
Most definitely. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Corey, as always. And we'll see you again next month. Everybody, stay strong. See you again. Good night.
Good night.